Lebanon has announced a historic move to disarm Palestinian militias operating inside its territory, a step aimed at bringing all weapons under state control. This initiative comes after regional Iran-backed groups, including Hezbollah and Hamas, saw their influence erode following the recent escalations with Israel. The Lebanese-Palestinian Dialogue Committee, along with Prime Minister Nawaf Salam, set a timetable for the disarmament. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas and Lebanese President Joseph Aoun backed the plan, agreeing that armed factions would no longer use Lebanon to target Israel. Starting mid-June, 3 camps in Beirut will begin handing over weapons. Camps in other regions have already been cleared. Aoun also accused Israel of violating a ceasefire deal by retaining southern territory and Lebanese detainees. The U.S. has voiced support for Lebanon's army, vowing to continue military assistance. We stay in the Middle East. Meanwhile, Israel's military has announced that it had intercepted a missile launched from Yemen towards Israel, with sirens sounding in several areas. The Iran-aligned Houthi rebels in Yemen have continued to fire missiles at Israel, claiming it is in solidarity with Palestinians in Gaza. In a post on social media platform X, Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has called for effective joint efforts by Iran and Pakistan to stop Israel. Iran's Supreme Leader has urged for Muslim unity and called for coordinated action between Iran and Pakistan in the face of what he described as the Zionist regime's crimes in Gaza. In a separate post on X, he remarked that the situation in Gaza had deteriorated to such an extent that people in Europe and the United States were protesting against their own governments. He added that despite these dire conditions, certain Muslim governments continue to align themselves with Israel. Khamenei has also hailed the relations between Iran and Pakistan as warm and brotherly. Moreover, he called Palestine the most important issue in the Islamic world. And he said that Pakistan has never been influenced by the inducements from global powers on its stance. North Korea has blasted U.S. President Donald Trump's Golden Dome missile defense plan, calling it a dangerous push towards nuclear confrontation in space. He described the system as a tool for unipolar domination, warning it would fuel a new arms race and space militarization. The sharp criticism comes as Trump vowed to make the Golden Dome operational by the end of his term, promising it could defend the U.S. against ballistic missiles, hypersonics, and advanced cruise missiles. However, much of the system's space-based technology remains unproven. The statement coincides with a high-level security visit. A Russian government delegation led by Deputy Interior Minister Vitaly Shuklika has arrived in Pyongyang, as North Korea's Security Minister Ri Chang-dae heads to Moscow for a major security summit. ASEAN has unveiled its 20-year blueprint for the future, the Kuala Lumpur Declaration on ASEAN 2045, following its adoption at the 46th ASEAN Summit. The document outlines the region's strategic roadmap through 2045, with a focus on sustainable and inclusive development. Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim called for a people-centered vision that closes development gaps and invests in human potential. The plan adopts the ASEAN Community Vision 2045, built on 4 key pillars: political, security, economic, socio-cultural, and connectivity. ASEAN Secretary General Kao Kim Huron said the document offers guidance amid global uncertainties, including climate change, digitalization, and geopolitical shifts. He added that the roadmap reinforces ASEAN's commitment to unity, solidarity, and global partnerships. Let's listen to other statements made by the Malaysian Prime Minister during the second day of this summit.
Today, we renew that solemn promise, not as a tribute to the past, but as a living covenant with the future. It is often said that the best way to predict the future is to create it. That is why ASEAN has sought to do, through decades of steady effort, shared stewardship, and strategic vision. We seek must rest on foundations of sustainability and inclusion. ASEAN's integration must be genuinely people-centered. That means closing development gaps, raising the standards of living, and investing in the human spirit and potential of all our.
A massive fire has forced a shutdown at Ecuador's largest oil refinery in Esmeraldas province. The blaze, which erupted in a fuel storage tank on Monday, sent thick fumes of smoke into the air and prompted evacuations of workers and nearby residents. Petroecuador, the state oil company, confirmed that operations at the 110,000 barrel per day plant have been halted to ensure the safety of staffs and infrastructure. 5 people were treated for smoke inhalation, but no serious injuries were reported. Energy Minister Inez Manzano announced the fire was under control, but residents say they remain anxious. One worker described hearing a loud noise before running for safety. Well, that's all we have time for. We will continue to bring more news updates from around the world.